Time once again for On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, but the stars of our show are two incredible football players, icons in the world of sports. We're talking about number 15, Vince Ferragamo of the Super Bowl Rams, Jackie Slater, number 78, offensive lineman of the Super Bowl Rams, known as the Energizer Bunny. Here to recap for you, in case you missed all of it, the Super Bowl and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Welcome to your show, guys.
Hey, thanks so much, Michael. Thank you for the applause.
Loving it, Michael.
We're back intact.
Back intact.
Man, I'll tell you, what a wild week.
What a wild week. Unbelievable.
Super Bowl week. Oh, my
Super Bowl week. And
it's all over the place.
You were all over the place, and I had to go different places, and it was busy, but it was fun. It was really fun.
Jack,
Vince.
you know where I was?
Where?
New Orleans. Then to Las Vegas, then to San Jose, and then back home, and then back to
everywhere. You've been everywhere, so you're a quarterback. Offensive linemen don't have to travel quite as much.
Yeah, so you're an offensive lineman. So Corey Marino, our producer, yours truly, the announcer, Michael Horn. We weren't anywhere, were we, Corey? We didn't get.
No, I was at home.
You're in the backyard.
Wait a minute. I thought you guys were at the bootleg restaurant. Did you go to the bootlegger? You went.
Vince was there.
Yeah, you didn't go, Mike?
Corey and I, no. We just hung out. We just did nothing.
Well, you know how Vince is, bourgeoisie.
Going to have a report for you. But let me tell you this here, Jackie and Vince. Mm-hmm. We're brought to everybody today by our good friends at HarmonyCheese.com.
Absolutely.
Now, last week on the show, we had the cheese executive officer, the CEO, Jerry Haynes, and that girl, Bree Rehack, who puts together the great charcuterie boards, as you love to call them there, Jackie Slater. Mm-hmm. And they're available for all of our listeners. Just go to HarmonyCheese.com. That's our website. You can order there, and when you're checking out of the website, your first time order, put down say CRN Talk. You get 10% off your order.
10% off.
Am I right, Jackie? 10% off.
You're absolutely right.
I ordered some.
I just ordered some. I just ordered some a couple of days ago, Vince.
Got to have it for.
Fortunately for you and I, we get to reach out directly to Bree.
Yeah,
that's it.
She handles our order.
HarmonyCheese.com.
Firsthand.
They got them all. Check out the website. You'll see all the great cheeses there. I mean, come on. We got Valentine's Day coming up. We got so many things right around the corner. Get some cheese into that refrigerator, as Jackie Slater always does. He'll tell you more about it later in the show. Don't forget to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Onpoint@crntalk.com. Our website, onpointlive.net. We'll be back. It's On Point Live. Did I say that? Onpointlive.net. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Welcome back to On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Let me remind you, not only do we do a radio show, but we're doing video here. This is a video podcast, and you can see it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. We'll give you updates when it's there. Remember, it's On Point Live with Vince and Jackie, and check it out on YouTube. And also, you can get this show as a podcast right when it's over. I mean, it runs on the weekends, runs for you on radio stations around the country. But go to any podcast platform, whether it be Apple, Spotify, you name it. Just search On Point Live, and it'll come right up, and you can watch or listen to the show. You can also get it on your smartphone, the audio version. Your smartphone, your cell phone, take it and dial pound 250, pound symbol 250, hit send. When the call is answered, say find my podcast. They'll ask you which one. You say On Point Live. They'll send a link and load it to your phone. You can listen to us wherever you go. All right, let's get over to Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Before we get to the Super Bowl, we'll start with you, Vince. You were traveling. You mentioned it. You threw it out there at the beginning of the show. New Orleans, Las Vegas, dining, Santa Clara. So what the heck were you doing in New Orleans? Let's start there.
Well, that's American Italian Cultural Center. It was a fundraiser. It was great. Then we go every year, and it, Tommy Lasorda years ago got me involved with that, and it was a lot of fun to go back. Ed Marinero. I mean, we've had so many great people. Daryl LaMonica. I mean, everybody. Just Rocky Marciano was there. I mean, everybody's been there. And
me.
I'm always awestruck when Vince comes back, Mike, and he tells me about all of these Italian guys, man, that are huge huge guys in the movie industry, in music industry.
Right.
Unbelievable guys that he's interacting with, man. He's thinking,
I was a stand-in.
Yeah.
it's unbelievable, man. He
Gino
knows
Roccaselli.
it seems like every Italian that lives in America, he knows.
LSU
Every
players,
prominent
Jackie, they got
Italian.
everybody out
You
there.
are connected, Vince. I'm
He is
telling you.
definitely
fun.
connected. In fact, I don't think we want to be messing with. Don't make Vince
No,
Vince
you don't
mad.
screw around with him. You don't do
Know
bad
too many
impressions.
people,
Don't do bad impressions of Italian guys. They just get
man.
ignored, and then
Jackie,
next
we
thing
got to
you know-
have you back there as an honorary
no,
guest.
no.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
you got to
should-
come
I
back.
should be.
You and Annie love it.
I
back there.
feel like I'm an honorary Italian out here.
food
with,
is unbelievable.
As much as
I
I'm
do
eating
too.
at your
I like
place.
to hang. He knows the Italian wines too. Now listen, that's just the tip of the iceberg. He goes there to New Orleans. Then you go into one of the finest Italian American restaurants on the Strip in Las Vegas. Tell us about that.
4 generations of family-owned restaurant. The Bootleggers Hotel and the Bootleggers Restaurant on Las Vegas Boulevard, Jackie, in Las
Yeah.
Vegas, Jackie. The food was spectacular. You look at the pictures of great grandma and then Nonna and then you have your mom and then now Lorraine owns the property.
Look at
and
that. Is that
the
is that
people, it's just
tiramisu?
amazing.
Is that
Oh,
tiramisu
that
right
dessert, that is tiramisu. One of the best tiramisus I've
On the
ever
right,
had.
on the
then
right.
you have cannoli right in front of you.
Yes,
But
yes.
then my wife loved the white chocolate raspberry cheesecake.
I knew that was a cheesecake in the middle.
Oh my goodness
knew
gracious!
that.
And another cake. I mean, it was. But Jackie, that was dessert.
That was dessert.
Appetizers with the grilled vegetables.
Oh,
then
my
you
goodness.
had the mushrooms.
Did you have any linguine and white
Oh,
clam
no,
sauce?
we had fried ravioli.
Oh,
And then, Jackie, I
goodness.
had fruta di mare. You know what that is? It means fruit of the sea.
Yeah.
They had all the fish.
Clams,
they
mussels.
had clams, mussels, cozze. Yeah, they had gambieri, which
Oh,
is
my
the shrimp.
goodness.
And they had, it was spectacular.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you. for
every
coming,
meal.
Vince. Thank you. It's Gino Roccaselli here. I waited. And thank you for that great tip you left us. We really enjoyed it, and we kept the air in your tires.
Mike, and you don't find the Maremma Rosso in Italy, in southern Tuscany, very often at very
I
many
know.
restaurants. Nice, very nice wine. And my wife loves the champagne, so we had a little Vouv, a little French champagne.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
You were at the-
spectacular.
You know
And
the interesting.
the best
Mike,
thing of it all.
Wait a minute. You know the interesting thing about this meal, Mike, that he had
What's that?
is that he didn't have to pay 1 red cent for it,
It's-
and that he only had to leave a tip. And I told him, you better have left a good tip, man, with all the food that you ate over there.
wait
And he
staff
said he
is
did,
great.
so it was
Listen,
worth it.
Not only the wait staff is great, they have music there
Music.
every night. You went there the night that they had this incredible harp player. Tell them about it.
He was fantastic, Michael. I had to take a picture with him. I mean, it was just, I couldn't. He reverberated with that. The strings of that instrument, it played beautifully. The lyrics, I mean, he sang, and I mean, everything was just beautiful. All kind of songs, different songs, Italian songs,
Yeah.
pop songs. I mean, it was really nice. It was a nice evening, and
Did he play a little rap?
no rap, no rap.
I didn't
it's
think he played any rap.
It's got to have nice, soft.
I know.
Music.
I think his name is at the bootlegger there is Mariano Gonzalez. And
That's
he
it,
performs
Mariano.
live on Wednesdays and Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And he is great. I've had the table. You know how sometimes the music gets too loud and stuff in restaurants?
Yeah.
I've been right up next to the stage, and it is incredible. And I'm telling you, Jackie, you take Annie there, you take your date with you.
Yeah.
The women love him, and the guys do too. I'm telling you, just incredible music.
And
You relax.
Dina Martin performs there quite a bit too, Mike, when she comes to town.
Oh, she
And
does?
we talked to
Oh, boy.
them
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
phone and
Yeah.
saw their picture on the wall, and I mean it was just great.
Sounds
great
like
evening.
just a wonderful time.
fun time.
Then
time.
you went
Off
to
the
Santa,
strip,
Santa
off the
Clara.
beaten strip, but it's
Then you
nice.
went to Santa Clara. What happened there? You're still
Oh.
traveling. We haven't even got
Element
to the
San
Super
Jose
Bowl
had to
yet.
pour my wine
Oh,
with
yes.
the Harmony cheese. It was
There you go.
spectacular. I mean,
So this
all
was
the
a
different
wine-
varietals, Jack.
This
You would have
was
loved it.
a cheese and wine pairing using Harmony cheese and your wines.
Yes, and my
What a
cousin
knockout.
makes olive oil in Central Coast, California, and he brought his olive oil to the pouring. It was fantastic. We had the breads and some burrata cheese, and with everything that Harmony cheese put out there in the wine. We just had a great time. Too
right,
bad
so
we had
you-
to leave
Yeah.
before the
Italians-
game started.
Sounds like it.
Big Italian celebration in New Orleans. Then you
Yeah.
go to Vegas and go to the number one restaurant there. Great steaks, great seafood, boy, incredible pastas and desserts and so much more at the Bootlegger restaurant on the Strip there in Vegas. Then you go into Santa Clara, San Jose area. You have the big Harmony Cheese and Ferragamo wine tasting, and then you're getting ready for the game. But before we get there, now let's go to Jackie. Jackie, what did you do?
Well, I had a wonderful day. My wife, my son, a bunch of his friends, we went to Morongo Casino.
Whoa!
And the sweetest person you'd ever met, the general manager, Jennifer, she took very good care of us. I mean, it was carte blanche. Everything you can imagine food-wise was laid out. All Italian cuisine, American cuisine, you name it, Vince. It was there. I met some beautiful people that were Ram fans that came from all over Southern California to the Morongo Casino. It was just a fabulous day. And, a bunch of my teammates were there. Mike Landsworth, the former kicker, and Ron Brown.
Yeah.
Remember Ron Speedball Brown, the fastest man in the whole damn town? He was there, and just a ton of Greg Bell, who a 1,000-yard rusher with the Rams, were there. It was good. It was good to see those old teammates, and we had a fantastic time meeting and introducing ourselves and our wives to the fans, and then the food. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Jennifer was spectacular, and she absolutely loved us being there, and that made it even more special. So.
Did you spend the night? Did you have
We did. We had a couple of rooms and spent the night there, and just enjoyed it, man. It was a very relaxing environment. There were obviously a lot of people there wagering and all of that, and we just met so many interesting people from literally all over the country, Vince. Literally all over the
Jennifer
country.
took good care of you there.
Oh,
Jackie.
Jennifer was absolutely spectacular.
And I was at the Pachanga.
Pachanga.
Near the Journey Golf Course, and Dominique took really good care of us.
Oh,
as well.
is that
The
right?
food was spectacular,
It's
and
amazing.
was there also played against you, Jackie.
Who was that?
The Roy Glover.
Oh
from
man,
the
not
New Orleans
Roy
Saints.
Glover.
Yeah, big
Oh
hero.
my goodness, how about that?
Him and I were there, and we enjoyed it.
That was
and,
this last weekend also?
That was for Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, we had a really good time and
Had a wonderful time.
big screen TVs, Mike.
Huge screen TVs.
So okay, show's almost over. Jackie Slater, we got the Morongo. Vince, you went to about 9 different places. Producer Corey, where did you go?
I went, I saw a quarter with my friend, a quarter and a half with my dad, and then a quarter and a half with my girlfriend and her family.
Yeah, I sat with
okay.
I had a lot of places to be.
Yeah, you split it up
I
there.
just sat with my girlfriend and watched the
Took
game.
advantage of that halftime. You were
You guys had a
traveling.
good time. All right, we got to take a break now. That's good. We'll see you next week, everybody. No, we got a lot to talk about here on the show. Stay with us here. It's On Point Live. The one and only Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Don't forget to check out the cheese. Valentine's Day's coming up. Go to harmonycheese.com. That's harmonycheese.com. On Point Live returns. Stay with us. Welcome back to On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. All right, you paid your money. You got the show going here right now. We're talking about Super Bowl 14 veterans here. Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater checking this one out. And both Jackie picked, I believe, Seattle. Vince, we were looking at New England. So we'll start with the victor here, Jackie Slater. The Super Bowl 60, Seahawks 29, Patriots 13. Give us a little thumbnail sketch, and we'll start with you first, Jackie Slater.
So I get to go first. So that's like the spoils, right? To the
Yeah.
victor goes the spoils.
Spoil, you got it. And the Harmony cheese goes to
And
you
the
also.
Harmony cheese. Okay, I'll be looking for it. But there's one thing that I am delighted about, that I had the opportunity to shed some light on the importance of the play at the offensive line, the importance of the play of those big guys that nobody really calls their names. And this football game was pretty much decided at the line of scrimmage, just like I thought it would be. And, one of the things that made me feel even more adamant about that was knowing that the New England Patriots were starting 2 rookies on the left side of their offensive line as blindside protectors for Drake Maye. Now, one of those rookies was a first-round draft choice, the number 4 overall pick. His name is Will Campbell. He's 6'6". He weighs 319 pounds. Vince, the young man gave up 14 pressures. 14 pressures. And the first sack of the game, you and I were talking about this, he got run completely over.
Yeah.
Now, I don't question this young man's heart. I don't question his ability to compete. I don't question his desire to win football games for his team. But what I do question is the decision to draft a guy who has arms shorter than what is considered typical for his position. He has short arms. And that is a major, major problem in the National Football League. And it's going to manifest itself, in my opinion, over and over and over and over again as long as he plays this game. Because just think about it,
You
Vince.
can't impede the rush.
You can't impede the rush.
You can't get your hands on your opponent.
Idealistically, good offensive tackles, particularly on the left side, they are touching their opponents as they breach their range. As soon as they come in within the range of their ability to touch them, they want to touch them now so that they can soften up the blow that these guys are making into them. And think about this, Vince. Those defenders over there are mostly right-handed dominant, and they're coming down into that offensive tackle off the dominant side of their body when they make contact with him. And you saw what happened to the young man the first sack he gave up. The young man was blown up, knocked completely on his back for a sack. And then the other thing was that they started two rookies on the left side of the blind side of the quarterback. The left side, blind side, inside protector and outside protector were rookies against the Seattle Seahawks. And as I said to you when we left here last week, sitting right here, this ball game is going to be decided at the line of scrimmage. And I'll be doggone if that's not what happened.
That's right.
All right, Vince Ferragamo, your thought.
My papers are spread out all over the place. It was like, how do you kind of visualize the extent of this offensive inability to move the football? And as I looked at it, I was completely shocked in some ways because I overestimated and underestimated. I underestimated the strength of the Seattle defense. Maybe that's because of my background and just being a quarterback. I want to just go beat up on everybody. But I overestimated the ability of the coaching staff in New England to come up with a game plan, schematic game plan, to have this in the back of your mind and be prepared that if they're doing this and this and this, I have to do that, that, and that. So, I mean, this offensive line was a little bit overwhelmed, to say the least.
Now, let me ask you a question, Vince. When you said what you just said right then and there, are you implying to me that you did not see enough variety, particularly in Drake Maye's launch point as a quarterback? They didn't move him around enough?
I think so, and that was pretty consistent, I think, Jackie, throughout the playoffs because they kept him in the pocket a lot, and he was under duress against many of these teams, okay? He was sacked quite a few times, I think 20 sacks in the playoffs. That's too many. They had 6 sacks in this Super Bowl game. They had the 2 turnovers. Three turnovers, and we talked about turnovers. Seattle had no turnovers throughout the entire playoff.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you look at Sam Darnold, give him credit. He stood up. He bounced back from some of the nightmares that he had with prior teams. The Rams, he came back and beat the Rams handily. They came back against the New England Patriots, Jackie, who he saw ghosts when he played for the Jets.
Yes.
He came back. He didn't see any ghosts on Sunday afternoon. No. And he came back in all 3 ways. And I was impressed with his approach on the game. And I think we can get into it later about what the coaches have actually were able to parlay to the players. They gave them that confidence because it was a team unity kind of thing, and what they had, their personalities, and how they affected the players.
Absolutely.
You talked about the coaches. You talked about the coaches too, Vince, and you mentioned that Vrabel had some experience that Mike McDonald didn't. Mike McDonald, I think, surprised New England with taking different looks on there, a new pressure look. There's a quote that our producer found for us that says, just when Maye thought he had the answers, Seattle coach Mike Macdonald changed the questions. And that's a key factor in NFL history. There have only been 3 coaches to lead a number 1 scoring defense as a coordinator, lead a number 1 scoring defense as a head coach, and win a Super Bowl as a head coach. That's Bill Belichick, Chuck Noll, and Mike Macdonald. So
Absolutely.
the coaching, Jackie, was superb on Seattle's side.
There's no doubt about it. And one of the things that jumped out at me was that, and Vince talks an awful lot about this, and I experienced this an awful lot as a player, moving the pocket, moving the quarterback around. Now, what we noticed, Vince and I both noticed, was that the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots did not move Drake Maye around in the pocket at all. It's kind of like when he had Tom Brady. It was the assumption that Vince and I both had was that he was going to be prolific from the pocket because he has a great arm, and that he wouldn't be moving around that much. And perhaps because he's a guy that had 400 yards rushing or something from the pocket, that people would play him honestly and not assume that he was going to be stuck in the pocket. But what they did was they blitzed him and they treated him like a pure pocket passer, as if they were dealing with Tom Brady, because this same offensive coordinator never had Tom Brady running boots and waggles and a whole lot of play action stuff and moved the pocket around. And he basically did the same thing with Drake Maye, only what they did in Seattle was they countered that by pressuring this guy from the secondary. They blitzed him. They put pressure on him every conceivable way you can imagine. And for the first time in his playing career, he was perplexed. It just seemed like he was frustrated to me all the time, struggled all day long.
Vince, it's Drake Maye, a good man, struggled. The quote there was, knowing that what the Seahawks are going to do and beating it are 2 separate things. And there was an offensive line breakdown, basically, on the Patriots. Would you say that, Vince?
Well, at some point in time, Mike, there was
breakdown.
And I
Is
think,
that what you want to call it?
Yeah.
They had 2 rookies on the left side. Okay, they kind of featured that side on the pass rush. But the clever thing that Macdonald did is that when he used cover 2, when you look at it from an offensive standpoint, McDaniels thought, well, let me run the ball. You have no force, but you didn't need the force guy. They couldn't get through the front 7. He couldn't block. They couldn't get open the hole. So that whole philosophy, in theory, is going down by the wayside. So the other point, the fact that Jackie made, is that when they rushed 4, they closed the running lane for Drake Maye, and there was nobody open down the field. So that in cooperation with the other phase that Mike Macdonald used was the blitz, especially with a guy like Witherspoon, who never blitzed much all during the season. He changed it up, but there was no side adjustment for the wide receivers on the blitzes. The guys would have been wide open. You're sitting there. It
was bare bones offense.
When are the receivers going to get open? When are they going to break their route down?
Bare bones.
Where's the rollout? Where's the razzmatazz? Where's play action movement? You keep your defense off balance.
Rollout. Did you see one rollout?
Well, there was one. They won one bootleg. They covered it well. McDonald was ready for it. Then they never went back to anything else like that. It just didn't make any sense. And you had a second-year quarterback in Drake Maye. No second-year quarterbacks have ever won a Super Bowl.
And you had 2 rookies on the blind side of the quarterback's pocket.
So Mike,
2. An inside blind side and a tackle.
Yeah.
Now, Vince, Sam Darnold, you liked him. We all were high on Sam Darnold. We thought Minnesota got rid of him way too early. He missed some throws, but he protected the ball. The quote here is the Seahawks didn't win the Super Bowl because they had Darnold, but they wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl if it weren't for Sam Darnold. Now, here it is. Prior to Sunday, you got to call the game what it is. No team ever made 5+ field goals in a Super Bowl. No team had ever punted 7+ times in a Super Bowl, with every punt netting at least 40 yards. So this was kind of a kicker's game, too.
Special teams, Michael, reared its head. I mean, Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, the punter, was great. They
the coverage units, the coverage units were great.
Didn't make any mistakes. Okay, those were inherent in the game. But again, Sam Darnold did what he had to do. They had calculated, risky throws, but they were calculated. Earlier on, could have been went the other way. It did not, in the favor of Seattle. They ended up winning the game by 2 touchdowns.
I want to remind everybody, get your Harmony cheese orders in now. Valentine's Day is coming up, and a lot of specials, too. I'm telling you, St. Patty's Day, the list goes on and on and on. Get to their website. They'll mail it out anywhere. HarmonyCheese.com. Mention CRN Talk when you check out. 10% off your first order. HarmonyCheese.com. Mention CRN Talk. 10% off your first order. This is On Point Live. Give us a like on YouTube. On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. We'll be back. Don't go away. Welcome back to On Point Live. Don't forget to email us with your questions, your comments. We're here to go ahead and read them and talk about them on the air. Our email address, onpoint@crntalk.com. CRN is in Championship Radio Network. onpoint@crntalk.com. Check out our website, onpointlive.net. Follow us on Instagram at on.point.live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to check us out there, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. The show is here for you. Get that cheese, our sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. Harmony, HARMONY, HarmonyCheese.com. When you check out, mention CRN Talk, you get 10% off your order.
10%.
Back to Vince and Jackie. Jackie, you mentioned here at the top of the show just about some of the players you played with, Speedball Brown. Whenever you and Vince get together and talk, you talk lovingly about your players. And Cooper Kupp made this comment about Mike McDonald, and I'll read it, and then I want your comments here. Cooper Kupp, former Ram who made it over to Seattle, and people seem to love him there. They loved him on the Rams. Here's the quote. Every 4 weeks, we'd take an hour of our meeting time. We'd meet in small groups. We'd break out. We'd have these conversations with guys and just talk. Some of it was football. Some of it was life. Some of it was getting to know each other and getting to see how people saw the game, how people saw life, how people reacted to adversity, maybe adversity that they've been going through. And it was so cool to be able to learn about your teammates, be able to go through those moments with them, and then just to be able to speak into people's lives that maybe they don't get an opportunity to have a platform to do that. Mike put a priority on that, on us being able to know our teammates and not just know their names or where they played football at, but know their families, know what they've gone through, and know what they've really come through. Your thoughts on that, Jackie Slater?
Well, if that isn't a prime example, Vince, for anybody who is aspiring to be a leader of young men, especially in athletics, there is no other example that will be any better than that. This is the way you build camaraderie. This is the way you build team. And, I can tell you that of the 20 teams that I played on, each and every one of those teams, they were different. And some of them had excellent chemistry. Some of them had dysfunctional chemistry where we didn't know one another. Guys were on and off the roster. But McDonald did a fantastic job. But probably one of the best things he did for this Seattle team and propelling them to the Super Bowl was to make it mandatory that they got to know one another. Now, the head coach over at the Patriots did that as well. He wanted to see camaraderie develop with those guys. He wanted them to play for one another, and that's what it's all about: playing for one another, loving one another in that competitive environment. Because I'm going to tell you now, when you are looking down the barrel of a shotgun and it's just you and L.C. Greenwood or Mean Joe Green or Aaron Donald or whoever that guy is, you need to know that you can call on somebody or expect somebody to realize your problem and they're going to have an eye out on you. That's what teammates are for, and that's the way you build that kind of camaraderie, so they're just not worried about themselves and doing their jobs, but they're worried about the collective, everybody being successful. And
Vince.
So you couldn't be more impressed with Mike McDonald
Vince,
than what he did when he did
what do you
that.
think?
They are looking basically for an extra incentive, Jackie, and by great coaching like that, it's the authenticity of the coach, how he relates to the players. They're sharing their personalities with one another, getting to know each other really well, almost become like best of friends. Okay, you have guys from different walks of life coming into a team.
Right.
And you're molding a team. That's why it's a team. So,
Absolutely.
and no one played harder for any quarterback than Sam Darnold. they loved playing with the guy.
Yeah.
Because he was authentic. He
Yeah.
was real. He makes mistakes. He admit, okay, I make mistakes.
Right.
Okay, but I'm going to try really hard for my team.
And Vince,
Jack, you never wanted to mess
the
up.
master locker room guy one of the best I've ever seen is Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
You saw what he
me
did
tell
with
you
the Rams.
something.
There's not a person in that organization that don't. I absolutely love Cooper Kupp.
We talked about it
and
right
he
here.
did the same thing in Seattle.
Jackie, we
Everybody
talked about
loves this guy.
We talked about it, Mike, on this show earlier
Yep.
in the season when they let Cooper Kupp go from the Rams. Who beat the Rams in the playoff game?
Cooper
Seattle.
Kupp.
With Cooper Kupp scoring a touchdown, big third down play.
Huge
Not
plays.
only because of his plays, because of his insight,
Right.
because of his knowledge, what he had. He's like a coach on
Hey,
the
Vince,
field.
remember that old E.F. Hutton commercial when they say, my broker is E.F. Hutton, and he said, and everybody lean in?
That's
the way Cooper Kupp is in
E.F.
a
Hutton.
locker room.
Yeah, he's
Because
E.F.
people respect him, his work ethic. He's not an egotistical maniac of some sort. He is caring, he's a loving guy, he works hard, and he's smart.
How many number 10
He's
jerseys did you
really
see
smart.
at Super Bowl?
I
lot.
saw a lot of them.
And we still see a lot of them in Rams
And you
fans.
still
wear
see a
some
lot of them
number
with the
10.
Ram fans.
Okay.
And you know what? There are a lot of men in that Ram locker room that wish Cooper Kupp was still on that football team.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like to throw something out to you guys because I noticed Corey's been a little disenchanted. I, sometimes get lost in the shuffle here. So Corey and I talked, and at Super Bowl 60, they had something called the Hammer Burger, and I thought maybe Jackie, you and Vince would like to take us out for this. It
Oh,
was at
my
the
goodness.
Super Bowl.
That is
Everyone's
literally
talking
a
about it.
bone. That is
With-
a bone.
Created by Levy Restaurants. It's the
Unbelievable.
LX Hammer Burger.
Oh, my
it's
goodness. Look at
a
that.
juicy cheeseburger patty, braised bone-in beef shank,
Yes.
roasted morpoy demi-glaze, Point
Unbelievable.
Reyes blue cheese fondue, a freshly baked brioche bun
Jackie
by
is drooling
Bing
over here.
Crosby.
That brioche.
$180 per
$180.
burger. I thought,
$180.
would you pop for
$180.
4 of these guys,
Now, that's a
Jackie?
hamburger. That's a hamburger.
That's a lot of
That is
money
a
for a
hamburger
hamburger,
right there. And you know what? For $180,
That'd be good.
I would invest in that. There is
You
no
take
doubt,
that home to your dog.
There's no doubt in my
You
mind.
would.
I would invest
Not
in that.
me.
I would, Vince. I ain't gonna tell you no
It's
story.
delicious.
Super Bowl.
Did you see it, Vince?
I saw it.
Oh my
Here's another
goodness
picture.
gracious!
Wow. It's
I've
Make
heard
me break
talk.
my diet.
I've heard talk that this burger was used as a tool to get some of the new coaches to sign for their teams. Let's start with this now. Look at some new coaching hires for next year. We'll go to the Arizona Cardinals because they stole Mike LaFleur from the Rams, the
Yeah.
offensive coach. Let's start, Jackie, Vince. You guys, let's talk about these coaching changes. Arizona.
What is this? The fourth offensive coordinator that
Yeah.
Sean McVay has lost off of his staff.
Everybody. They
You know,
leave every
if
year.
you're in a position of leadership and you've been entrusted with that leadership by Sean McVay, people assume that you know exactly what he knows and you think exactly the way he thinks. And there is nothing wrong with that. But the problem is everybody is not alike. And we're finding out that there are a lot of men who have left Sean McVay's staff who haven't delivered.
Well,
Now,
Brandon Staley. There's offense and defensive guys, Jeff.
offense and defensive guys, and by the way, Vince, I'm not in a hurry. If with the exception of McDonald up here in Seattle, if you look at all the young defensive coordinators that have been brought in to try to, stop guys like McVay and Shanahan up there, these guys haven't fared too well.
Yeah.
So the offensive guys are the guys that I think should be the most sought after. And we knew that Mike LaFleur, just like his brother, had been working on a McVay for a while. And the Arizona Cardinals, at least, they're assuming right now that they've got them a duplicate of what they've seen with McVay at the Rams.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur. Okay, he's the head coach, but Nathaniel Hackett, who I played with his dad, Paul Hackett, years ago, but he's had some success throughout the league, so they should probably strengthen that team a little bit. But they lost Jonathan Gannon, who now becomes the defensive coordinator for the Packers. I think that's a win for the Packers. But I think the team that lost a little bit in this whole thing was the Ravens.
The Ravens?
Okay, because they hired a couple coaches,
Right.
but they lost Harbaugh, who's going to the Giants, and I think the
Exactly.
Giants are going to win a little bit.
Well,
in
they
that
also
one. But there's a lot of other teams that have profited.
Vince,
though.
they also lost Todd Monken.
Todd Monken.
Now, Todd Monken,
That's true.
You and I were talking about Todd Monken, Coach. We saw what Lamar Jackson, we saw how he became a guy in the pocket that was going through his progressions beautifully toward the last couple of years there. And Todd Monken is going to be going over to the Browns. And so for me, I'm looking for Shedeur Sanders to all of a sudden, I mean, he's got a great arm and he's got some good abilities to read defenses and all that, but I think he's going to be better. I'm expecting the Cleveland Browns to be a much better team this round.
Michael, let me ask a question. Do you think a lot of these new coaches are going to take the lead of Mike McDonald, what he did? What did Cooper Kupp say when he went to their first OTA meeting? It's not going to be easy, he said.
Yep.
It starts in a couple of weeks. Okay, right after the draft. And when they went there, he says, we're going to go to work.
Absolutely.
This is not going to be. And when they got finished with those ETAs, they said, man, have we been through preseason training camp already?
Absolutely.
We're ready to go to work. And I think a lot of these other coaches are going to take this lead right now. They want to go to the Super Bowl.
But you got the Browns strengthening themselves with Monken. Do you think the Ravens strengthening themselves with Jesse Minter from the Chargers, defensive coordinator? I don't think so.
I'm not
and they
sure
got Doyle from the Bears as their offensive coordinator, and Anthony Weaver from the Dolphins, the defensive coordinator. So I don't know.
You know, the really interesting thing is that the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, who was there for a number of years, Mike Tomlin. When he left the job, he said, "I'm going to sit out for a year." And so basically, what he said to me, and it confirms to me that something that I have known. The ownership just didn't decide at the end of this season or the last month of the season who their head coaches were going to be, who their new general managers were going to be. They've known this for months. They've been working on this for months.
Before the season started, Jackie, when they got Aaron Rodgers, they knew this was going to happen.
These hiring and firings didn't just happen overnight. Right. They've been looking at these guys all along. And so, in my opinion, I don't think Mike Tomlin is in a position where he wants to retire from coaching. I still think he has some more good years left in it. But Mike Tomlin confirmed what I'm thinking. He knew that all the positions had been filled, and he didn't even want to stress going through it because he knows that
next year is going to be another opening.
The jobs are going to come up next year.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen.
How will the Steelers do with Mike McCarthy, former Cowboys and Packers head coach, Vince?
Well, I think it might turn it around a little bit. I think they need a little different spice and flavor with this team. Yeah, and then they got Brian Angelino, who was the Vikings passing game coordinator. So I think he might add a little bit. They like Aaron Rodgers there. He's had a success with him in the past. So this could be changed around a little bit.
Another thing that we just simply cannot overlook. There's a guy named Adolfo Menza, who was the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings. Now that guy, he let Clint Kubiak leave, who was the offensive coordinator. And he also let Sam Darnold leave, who was a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Now, as of a couple of weeks ago, that young man is without a job. Yeah. He got fired.
I wonder why.
Because, hey, wait a minute. Not only did he lose an offensive coordinator that won the Super Bowl, and he lost a quarterback that won the Super Bowl, but he also lost a head coach now in Kubiak of the Raiders. So you, as a general manager running these football teams, you better know what you're doing. And you better make good decisions because this guy right here lost his job because we just saw
Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl.
Sam Darnold is over here in Disneyland, saying he's going to Disney.
Clint Kubiak's going to the Raiders now. That's going to be a turnaround. They're going to get Mendoza, first draft pick, Mike.
Absolutely.
So, Jackie,
but
Vince,
he wasn't good enough to play.
The key word you said there is Minnesota. They have some problems there, and apparently now it continues with their football team. They got rid of everybody, Vince.
Absolutely.
That's right, they did. Absolutely. It's hard to have any continuity when you keep changing over and over and over.
Boy, this show has flown by. I got to take a quick break here. I got to tell you.
Hey, Eric Bieniemy's back in Kansas City, man.
And that's a move. That's one move that I think Andy Reid is pretty excited
about. You guys keep going during the break
Patrick
here. I'll just mention it's harmonycheese.com. Get into that website there. Order some of their great cheeses. Harmonycheese.com, the official cheese here of On Point Live. When you check out, say CRN Talk or enter CRN Talk on your order, as in Championship Radio Network. Harmonycheese.com. Enter CRN Talk. 10% off your order, and email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Again, that's onpoint@crntalk.com. Our website, onpointlive.net. We'll take a very quick break and wrap things up for you with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater on Point Live. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn with Corey Marino, our producer, the stars of our show, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. Jackie, you got a bulletin here, some retirement in football, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just came across my phone here. Rob Havenstein, after 11 years with the Rams, the most prominent right tackle I think that the Rams have had since I retired there, Vince. Fantastic player, Super Bowl champion with the Rams. He announced his retirement, and he's going to be missed. He was a leader of that football team. He was a mainstay for, as I said, 11 years, the backbone of that offensive line when they won the Super Bowl here in L.A., and he is going to be sorely missed.
Yeah, they could have kept him for the depth they would have needed probably down the road. What if someone gets hurt? I mean, I don't know.
Vince, Jackie, let me ask you a question. And, congratulations to Seattle. They deserve the win, and I'm glad New England got in there. But let's face it, I think the best teams were not in the Super Bowl. Denver, if Bo Nix had not been injured, I think beats New England. And I think if the Rams, if the guy would have caught the football, if they would have gone for 3 points instead of going for the fourth down, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah. But it would have been the Rams, it would have been Denver, and I think a hell of a game would have been played. Vince, your thoughts?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's what I was thinking, Mike, while you were saying that. But, Denver Broncos were tough all year long. Won the AFC, was the leading role.
If a frog had a back pocket, he could carry a knife to keep the snakes off.
Pretty good. Got to remember that one.
That's what it is.
Wait a minute.
It is what
Everything shook down just the way
card?
it was going to shake down with the decisions that the organizations made, and you can't get around that.
Hey, but you know what? My wife predicts that Denver Broncos will win next year's Super Bowl.
Is that
So
right?
she laid a bet down while you were
She
in
knows
Vegas?
more than I do.
How about that, huh?
Did she put a
She
bet
won
down
all her
on it?
bets.
Jody's been known to make a few,
she's got
really
it.
good picks.
Yeah, she likes it.
Jody's good.
See.
The other thing is she likes Harmony cheese, too. And by the way,
does.
that's our sponsor, your final shot from me to get your cheese ready for Valentine's Day, get it ready for St. Patty's Day, birthdays, celebrations every day, for gosh sakes, like Jackie Slater has it right there in his
Six pepper
cheese
cheddar.
closet.
Yeah.
Yes, it's right. Six pepper check.
Toasted.
For cheddar.
Yes, with a little butter.
HarmonyCheese.com. Mention CRN Talk on your way out. Get 10% off your order. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. That's onpoint@crntalk.com. Thanks so much. Get your notes into us. Remember, we love this show, but what we should always remember, what do we always say, gentlemen?
Jackie?
Stay on point.